All right, so my small contribution to the reverse engineering world this cycle was I wrote a install script for Angr to install it on Windows. And so the script actually turns out to be pretty simple. 28 lines of Windows batch scripting, um, but it did take quite a while to uh, figure out all of the things that needed to be in place to get it installed. Um, so I have documented all of this. It's not, I mean, I'm not going to walk through it all in the video because it is, in my opinion, well documented enough that you're just going to read it anyway, right? Because it takes a long time to install all of the things that you need, because you need to install Visual Studio, and that always takes a long time, and a bunch of other stuff as well. I also just noticed that I have a duplicate line in here, so I will remove that. Interestingly, these lines are not duplicates, lines 21 and 22. For some reason, you need to run that twice to install this particular Angr dependency. One of the many weird things that I discovered when trying to install Angr on Windows. But anyway, it seems to work. I've tested this in a Windows 10 VM multiple times to make sure that it works. So if you try this and it doesn't work for you, please let me know, and send me screenshots and descriptions of what is not working so that I can get it fixed and working. Or send me a pull request if you have a fix to implement. So anyway, the reason I did this is because Angr is not officially supported on Windows. There is no documentation that I was able to find for how to install it. Only recently was support for a Visual Studio compilation added to some of the Angr dependencies. So if that hadn't been added, I think this would have actually been much more difficult than it was. And it was not particularly easy, in my opinion, as is. So anyway, there's no documentation for it. I wanted to provide some documentation and instructions, so now you can install it easily. The other big reason that I wanted to do this is because I am going to be starting work on a IDA Pro plugin for Angr to try to get Angr better integrated with IDA. I have some thoughts and ideas on what I want that to look like. But anyway, my IDA Pro license is for Windows, and I had some ideas on how to potentially run Angr on a Linux machine and configure it to do object passing over the network or something along those lines. I actually recently learned about a Python remote procedure library, remote procedure calling library, which looks really interesting. But anyway, it seemed like a lot of additional complexity that I didn't want to deal with, so I just wanted to figure out how to install Angr on Windows so that I can use it in my Windows IDA Pro. So that's pretty much it. I've already spent really more time talking about this than I should, because this is really a pretty simple thing. Just took a fair amount of time to figure out, but now it's easy for you. So you should go install Angr if you're a Windows user, and play around with it. It's a pretty cool tool. So anyway, I hope to have something next cycle for or the beginnings of an actual IDA Pro plugin for next cycle. So we'll see how that goes.